Hey everybody, Scotia here, and I've just recently finished Luke's character story, only just a couple of minutes ago, and I'm pretty disappointed in it. There's a lot of complaints going around about it. If you've been looking online overnight since its release, quite a lot of backlash going towards it. I pretty much agree with all of it, and I'll be going into it. So this video is kind of a mini rant, I guess. Me just kind of explaining what happens in Luke's story, what went wrong, so to speak, what issues I had, how I think they could have done a better job with it, how I think Capcom kind of messed with people's expectations a bit too much given what they had planned. But yeah, very disappointed. I was expecting a lot more, which again could have been my fault, but at the same time, I'll get to it. So yeah. So if you don't know already, if you haven't seen Luke's character story, if you haven't watched it or played it yourself, normally I'd be like, oh, stop this video and go and play it yourself. There's no real need to it. It's not long, it's not really worth, if you've not installed the game or if you've not played it in a while, if you've not bought Luke, honestly not really worth buying Luke for the story. I think he's alright to play, he's not bad, but I wouldn't really, buy him or play the game again just for the story. Just watch it on YouTube, it's really not worth it. It's not long at all, probably honestly one of the shorter character stories in the game. There's only one fight, couple cutscenes. It's really, really disappointing. But yeah, basically his story is all the theories about Luke's father were completely they turned out to be quite more than what was actually the case. I think I saw a lot of people thought he was Joe from Street Fighter 1. People thought he died in like a Q attack, like a like rogue Q blew himself up or something. That was kind of my theory. There were a lot of theories about who Luke's dad was and how he kind of tied into the kind of grander picture that's going to be a thing from Street Fighter 6. And he's just a guy, and Luke was just a kid. And the incident that led to his dad dying was just a terrorist attack. It's just a bog standard terrorist attack, and that, probably not the best word to use with terrorist attacks. Obviously terrorist attacks are a big deal, but I think in the world of Street Fighter, I think just a random terrorist attack, I think is just, I don't know, it's just dull to me. I don't know if I'm kind of being insensitive or something, but I was expecting more from it, and I think given that it's Street Fighter, you can get more from it. You can do more things with it. Like, you can go a bit crazier with it, because it's Street Fighter. Nobody's really going to care if you go dumb with it or go out of the box with it. But I think just having it just literally just be like, oh, it's just a random terrorist. Didn't say who the terrorist organization was. Maybe that becomes a bigger deal. I kind of have a feeling it will be. But at the moment, it just seems very kind of basic. Like, it really just kind of seems like your average kind of like Call of Duty main character backstory, Like, oh, my family was killed in a terrorist attack, so I joined the military to fight for my country. And it's like, that's literally what Luke's backstory is. He's a guy who lost his dad to a terrorist attack and then just joined the military, and now he's becoming disenfranchised with the military. And it's like, oh man, like, I haven't heard that one before. And it's kind of like, I don't know, I was expecting more. Again, I think that's my fault. I think I should have kind of been more open to it, but I can't help but be disappointed by that. I mean, maybe it'll become a bigger deal in Street Fighter 6, but at the moment, yeah, definitely not where I would have gone. I would have definitely tried to tie that more into the world of Street Fighter. I would have tried to kind of have that, tie more into the world, tie more into other characters, more evil factions, to help tie Luke into the world of Street Fighter as he's coming into it as the main character. And no, he's just some guy who got killed by a random bomb. So yeah, that was a bit weak. I wouldn't say that was maybe disappointing. I would say that was weak rather than disappointing. Because I didn't really have any concrete expectations. I thought, oh, it'd be cool if it was like a random Q bomb, kind of like a Q attack. Because obviously if you play Street Fighter 3, Q has his self-destruct critical art. And I thought maybe it would be something like that. But no, it's just a bomb. Anyway, so he's kind of disenfranchised with the military. He's kind of, venting his frustrations. Guile comes up to him. There literally doesn't look like there's any prior relationship there, which is what a lot of people were thinking when they showed the images from his character story where he's talking to Guile. Yeah, so he doesn't really know Guile that well. You know, Guile is pretty much just he's the colonel, which is actually different because I'm pretty sure that he was a major in the Air Force in Street Fighter 2 and 4, and I think 5. So, but now he's a colonel apparently, so either that's a retcon, or we're kind of like, we're kind of after Street Fighter 5, maybe even after Street Fighter 3 territory. But yeah, so basically Luke wants to leave the military. He doesn't really feel like he's going anywhere. So, and Guile, you know, he has a fight with Guile to kind of, I don't know, vent his frustrations, I guess. You know, I mean, most motivations for fights don't really have a lot of thought put into them in these character stories, unfortunately. But they fight, Luke wins, and then him and Guile go for like a drink afterwards, and Guile pretty much says, hey, if you want, you can leave the military, and you can go and do what other people I know did, and you can just go wander and fight people. And Luke's like, cool. And then he kind of has his little like, oh, I want to be like my dad. And then that's it. That's literally how it ends. And I probably made it sound worse than it probably is, but that's how I kind of felt like, that's how it felt like to me. Was just really, really basic. Was like a super, super quick kind of backstory, but like, it didn't really even tell us anything about him. Just that that his dad died in a terrorist attack. He knows Guile, and he's left the military. So that thing that I said when in my reaction to the Luke showcase, I said that I was thinking like maybe his default is kind of his like pre Street Fighter 6 outfit, and that's him when he's younger, and then his story costume is his military look that like he'll carry into Street Fighter 6. No, the other way around, if anything. His default was like his Street Fighter 6 era costume will probably be that MMA look, which is, man, that's disappointing because I don't like that costume at all. Much prefer the story costume, the Air Force outfit, because it's already, he's not in the military anymore, you know. So yeah, just weird. It's just a weirdly just done character story. It didn't tell us anything. It was so short. I've barely felt like I got to know him, and that's kind of my bigger issue with the thing, is that this didn't sell me on Luke being the main character, which is weird and a shame because I was sold on him before. Like before this character story, I was like, yeah, I can buy it. You know, he looks like he's, you know, his design makes him stand out. He's clearly being built for bigger things. Now after this, I'm kind of like, why is this character in particular going to be the main character? Like, why is Luke going to be the main character of Street Fighter 6 and not Alex or Rashid or some other character, you know, new or old, you know, like any character can kind of like, at the moment, any other character in Street Fighter can have Luke's role, so to speak. Like, they can be the main character, because at the moment we have no reason to think that he's going to be the main character. Like, if I was a casual fan or just a casual player and I came into Street Fighter 5, I would have no reason to believe Luke was the main character or he was going to be an important character. And that kind of goes into why I think Capcom kind of messed up, because they absolutely raised people's expectations, and like they were saying that he was going to be the future of Street Fighter, like word for word in like PlayStation blogs, on Twitter, in the Capcom Unity blogs, they were saying this is the future of Street Fighter. And there's expectations that come when you say that, and I wasn't expecting a huge tease for 6. I was expecting a little tease. I was expecting something kind of like a wink wink, like nudge nudge thing. We didn't get anything like that, not even a drop of a tease or a hint. So I'm kind of like, why is it this guy? Like, why is Luke the main character? Like, why couldn't it be, like, why does it have to be him? And like, I'm fine with him, and I'm sure that when we get to Street Fighter 6, we'll know. And they're just kind of keeping their cards held close to their chest, so to speak, and that they're just kind of like, you know, they're kind of biding their time. But it's just, I think now at the moment, this is kind of a big blow to Luke. I think a lot of people are going to judge him harshly, more harsh than they already were, because the only thing that was kind of keeping Luke up, you know, keeping Luke afloat, was the whole like, oh, he's the future Street Fighter, he's going to be a big character. And I think a lot of people were kind of like, oh, okay, I don't really like the design, but you know, if he's going to be important, that's interesting. And it's like, I can't wait for his character story. And it's like, we finally got his character story, and it's like, okay, so his design's not great, and he's also like kind of boring. Like, it's not off to a good start. And I do like his design a bit. Like I said in other videos, I like his hair and his kind of just his upper body, I guess, except for the tattoos. But I just, it's just I think they messed with people's expectations, mine included, because I was expecting something. I didn't think we'd get a lot, but we just somehow got even less than that, and it's just a shame. Because even his arcade ending is just really basic, and like there's nothing really interesting about it. It's kind of like the only interesting thing is that his final boss in the arcade is Guile, which is like doesn't really mean anything, you know. It's just Guile. It's the only character we know that he has a link with, you know. So it's like doesn't even really mean much. So yeah, kind of just bummed because it was like I guess my expectations were just too high, but at the same time I feel like it was only natural when you had Capcom literally saying he was going to be the future of Street Fighter. Yeah, that's kind of it really. I had so many videos planned that I was gonna do. I'm still gonna do. There's one in particular I'm definitely gonna do before the end of the month. No, sorry, about like in a couple of weeks. For some reason I thought it still is November. My days are all messed up at the moment. I will be doing a video in the next couple of days where I'm gonna kind of go over Street Fighter 6 and like what we know about it, and I was kind of hoping that like I'd have a bit more to talk about after this character story, but I have nothing. Like I had so many videos planned for Luke. I was gonna do like deep dives into his character story. I was gonna do like analysis, but there's just no need. There's just no reason to, because we just got nothing from this. We really got absolutely fuck all. And it's just a bummer, you know. It's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna have to wait for Street Fighter 6 now, and it's kind of this thing where with the character stories, because I loved the format of the character stories in Street Fighter 5. I think probably the best way they've done the story. Not the cinematic story mode, like that sucked. I don't want that again. But I would love it if they did character stories in 6. But the thing that's kind of like holding me back from fully like praising them is that the writing for these character stories has been so spotty, like over the years. Like some have been great, some have been interesting, some have like absolutely just shaken the series up and moved things forward in a huge way, and then there's some that just are disappointing, don't do anything, bad writing, bad characterization, short, uninteresting, and this is definitely like Luke's character story is one of them, unfortunately, and it's just a shame. You know, I really think Capcom should have kind of, I don't know, they should have eased people into it. They shouldn't have gone so hard on him being the future, because I think that line they said at the start when they were kind of like, when they first revealed him, where it's like, you know, this is going to be an important character, I think that's all they needed to say. They didn't need to do blog posts after the showcase saying how he was going to be the future of the fucking franchise. You know, in that tweet that Nakayama put out of Luke kind of like greeting or saying goodbye, I don't know what he's doing, to all the other Street Fighter protagonists. Like, I was like, oh, so yeah, he 100% is, and like those expectations were raised so much, and it kind of annoys me that like they were hyping him up so much, and they knew that was the character story they were going to be putting out, and it's kind of like, man, like, do you not see how that ends up being disappointing? Like, did they not really think like, we're hyping this character up a lot, should we maybe actually like do something with this character story, or should we just keep it vague? And they're like, I'll just keep it vague. And it's like, oh, like, I know they don't want to go too hard into it, and they don't want to tease too much or kind of spoil too much, but like in the moment, here and now, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth that like this is meant to be the character I'm supposed to be buying into for Street Fighter 6, and like they've done nothing to actually sell me on him. Like, this was the chance to sell people on Luke, like story wise, and they didn't do it. I have no reason to think he will be the main character for Street Fighter 6. I have no reason to want him for the character to be the main character of Street Fighter 6. I don't get me wrong, I like him. I think he's okay. I like his interactions with other characters. His win quotes are cool. He seems like a decent dude, but like when you put that expectation on a character, there's just, it weighs them down, and it's like they need a lot to kind of lift themselves up with that weight on it. And it's just not happened for Luke. And I think this is just going to do more damage to him in the long run. Like this honestly gives me Alex vibes. Like, already this guy is going to be like, I don't know, I just don't think this was a wise choice. I think this is going to bite them in the ass sooner rather than later. I have such Alex vibes, because with Abel and Rashid, they were the main characters, but they weren't like advertised as such. Like, I mean, most people don't even know that Abel and Rashid were the main characters. I remember when the art that Nakayama put up that confirmed that, like, you know, Ryu, Abel, Rashid, Alex, and now Luke are the main characters. People were like Rashid was the main character. Like, oh, Abel sucked. How was he the main character? It's like, no, they always were. You just didn't know it because they didn't advertise it. Because in those games, Ryu came in to save the day. This is the first time since Alex they've actually kind of gone like, hey, this guy's going to be an important character. Like, he's going to be a big player. And I'm already getting vibes of him just being completely rejected like Alex was. Obviously, time was kind to Alex, and now he's a pretty popular character and well liked. But it's kind of, we're getting, like, history's kind of repeating themselves with Luke. And it's a shame because it's kind of like Capcom are going to take all the wrong lessons from this. And they're going to be like, oh, well, clearly nobody wants a new character. They just want Ryu all the time. And it's like, no, we do want new stuff. We just want new stuff done well. Which at the moment is not what it seems like with Luke. But they shot themselves in the foot with that design. I mean, it was a meme for years now, like Blonde Fighter 5, like all these characters being blonde. And it's like, you've been like, oh, here's the future Street Fighter, it's another blonde guy, and it's like I'm personally fine with it because I guess you could say my type, but I don't really know if that's a good word to use. But I kind of gravitate towards blonde characters for some reason, and so on paper I should like Luke, but it gets a bit old when, like, you keep doing the same thing, like, again and again and again. And like, and I think it really shows it on that art that Nakayama put up, where it's like 3 out of the 5 main characters of Street Fighter, 3 of them are blonde. And it's like, come on, man. So yeah, I ended up rambling for a bit longer than I wanted to. I won't be doing as much content on Luke as I've been saying for quite a while now, because there's just not a lot to talk about. I've pretty much talked about it now. So I think I'm probably going to end up doing one more video on Street Fighter 6, and then that'll come up in the next couple of days to a week. It's a busy week for me, so hopefully I can get things out in time. Stone Ocean is starting. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, the next part is being animated. The first 12 episodes come out on Wednesday, so I'm going to do those in batches of 3. I'm going to be reviewing 3 episodes at a time. So I don't know when I'm going to put that out. I'm going to take my time with it. I'm not going to just rush it out and to be the first one out. I'm probably going to watch all 12 episodes and then review them in 3s. So you could possibly be seeing the first, those first couple of reviews come out towards the end of December, maybe early January. Obviously, this Thursday is the next King of Fighters 15 team story, so I'll be getting that done, and I'll try and fit it in. I might do it tomorrow. I'm not doing anything tomorrow, but yeah, so I'm going to be doing a video kind of like what we know about Street Fighter 6. That's going to be coming out very soon. For now, I have no plans to do more videos on Luke specifically, because there's just nothing to talk about. Like, I really wish I could have more to talk about Luke, but they've not given me a lot to talk about, unfortunately. So there's nothing I can really do about that. So yeah, that's kind of my plans for the next month, I guess, or for the next week to a month. Obviously, we're getting close to King of Fighters 15, so January, February, I'll be putting out more videos in regards to that. February will be a very busy month because King of Fighters 15 actually comes out, and we're probably going to get Street Fighter 6 revealed. Oh, I should probably mention that. Yeah, so the big theory about when Street Fighter 6 is being revealed is February at Capcom Cup. That's when I think it's going to happen. I'll try and do a reaction to that because I quite enjoyed doing the Luke showcase. It just depends on times for me. Like, if it's late in the morning for me or late at night, I'm probably not going to do it because it's just not fair to the other people in my house to kind of, talk and react at like 1 a.m, 2 a.m. And in the past, Capcom Cups and other esports tourneys have not been at good times for me. So I wouldn't hold my breath on me doing that, but I will try to do it if I can. So yeah, February's going to be quite a busy month, but I don't mind. It keeps me busy. I have fun doing it. So yeah, that's it for now. Just wanted to kind of just give a little video, not a little, 20 minutes, like an hour. Just kind of want to give a video, kind of just going like, hey, here's what's happening with Luke. I'm disappointed, like explaining why I'm disappointed, why it's not turned out as great as it has. Hopefully, I've gotten my point across, and if you played the story for yourself, you know, I mean, if you liked the story, if you felt like it did if you felt like it did a good enough job, please let me know. I'm always interested in talking about it with people. But yeah, kind of a bummer. I was really expecting a lot from this. Too much, it seems, but oh well. We'll hopefully find out more about Street Fighter 6 soon. So for now, I'm gonna leave you. So thank you again, and I'll see you later.
We await your return, warrior.